Yeah, so I wasn't aware of this, but did you know human beings could swim faster than alligators? I did not know this, but they can in this movie. Hey guys, welcome to Happy Wax TV. So, okay, I just came back from the movie Crawl, which is directed by Alexander Aja, who I absolutely love. Some of his movies, Hills Have Eyes, High Tension, just to name a few of the movies he's done. I mean, the guy kills it, and it's one of the producers is Sam Raimi. So I'm like, okay, this movie has got awesomeness written all over it. And it basically stars two people. It's Kea Scodelario, I hope I said her name right, and then Barry Pepper. Both faces you'll recognize as soon as you see them. There's a handful of other people in this. But, I mean, okay, basically this movie is... Okay, so this is how I envisioned it on the way home, was Alexander and Sam sitting across from each other at a table. And it's like, hey, Sam. Hey, Alex, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I don't know. I think I was going to work on a new script for maybe Evil Dead 4. Awesome, but I'll tell you what, why don't you take a break, come on over to my house, we'll use my basement and my swimming pool and my really shitty green screen, and we'll make a fucking alligator movie. How's that sound? That's awesome, Alex. I'll tell you what, let's brainstorm for 5 minutes and come up with all the fucking jump scares we can think of, using alligators, and then I'll meet you at your place. Done. See you in 5 minutes. There you go. There's the meeting that probably happened for the making of this movie. I mean, I had high hopes for this flick, and I got to be honest, I honestly do not know how this movie is holding a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I have no idea. I'll give it this. Let me do some positive first. If you want a claustrophobic jump scare movie with alligators that take place probably 80% in a house with alligators, with jump scares, yeah. Then this is the movie for you then. And a handful of people that you don't give a flying fuck about, who are pretty much just thrown in this movie so that the alligators can kill them, then this is the movie for you. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it that's positive. I mean, I don't know, like Barry Pepper and Kea Scardello, they're like the two people in this movie, like I said, and then there's like a handful of people that we don't care about. And their characters, like the extras, are fucking retarded. I mean, it takes place in Arkansas. There's a hurricane, a class 5 hurricane. Haley, who's played by Kayla, goes looking for her dad, David, who's played by Barry Pepper. She goes to their old house, trying to find her dad. And he is down in this, it's kind of like a sub-basement. The basement was pretty cool. It brought back some memories of my grandparents' house because they lived in Thunder Bay, and they had one of these lower dirt floored kind of basements where you had to kind of not kneel down but kind of crawl through because it's not like a regular height basement. Anyways, it brought back some memories. But anyways, he's down there, and these alligators have come into the basement, or I guess the crawl space, which is why the movie's called Crawl, through a drain pipe, a big giant ass drain pipe. And he got attacked and he's kind of knocked out. She revives him, and then the water from the hurricane is slowly coming up, and it's slowly rising up. And I mean, that's pretty much the synopsis, is her trying to get to her dad and save him. And then that's like the first 15 minutes. And then once they're both in the basement, it's them trying to get away from these alligators. And then every once in a while they pan to some bozo out in the street, or I guess now the flooded streets, who are trying to steal bank machines in a fucking canoe or a boat, like a bass boat of some sort. And I mean, they get killed by alligators. Then the police come, 2 police officers, and guess what? They get killed by alligators. You'd think if you live in Arkansas or that area, and I'm no expert here. I'm a fucking dumbass. I wouldn't know what to do. in this situation, God honestly, but I can tell you one thing, I'd be looking over my shoulder every fucking second because I know alligators are an issue there, so why the fuck wouldn't you think they'd come in the water, you know what I mean? But these people are just sauntering around like, big deal. And you get it, like, really? Like, you're not going to use any common sense? Like, oh boy. And I don't want to, like, I put in the description, like, this is kind of a spoilerish review, but I mean, there's no spoilers really you can say, because if you've seen the trailer for this movie, you've seen the entire fucking movie. It's just, like I said, Sam and Alex sitting across on a table, jotting down every kind of jump scare they can come up with an alligator. It's I don't know. And there's so much stupid in this movie. Like, you hear all the time people get attacked by alligators and crocodiles, and once they latch onto you, you're fucking toast. Like, you're toast, okay? I counted 4 times, maybe even 5 times in this movie where either the dad or Haley got latched on by the alligator even went into a fucking death roll, okay, with Haley at one point in this movie, and she fucking escaped. No ripping of the limbs on her, nothing. You know what I mean? And she's still able, she gets chomped in the leg, dragged around, and that's in the trailer. This death roll on her arm. I mean, there was an alligator trainer, 2 years ago, that got his arm ripped off, you know what I mean, in front of the audience because the thing did like a death roll. Nope, no, not in this movie. No, spin around for 10 minutes and then work yourself free. And then the other thing too is she's like a competitive swimmer. She goes to university for it. So I guess that makes you able to swim faster than these alligators in the open water. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Michael Phelps couldn't swim faster than these fucking things, but apparently in this movie, we're just supposed to let that go. I don't know, man. Like, you can ride me all you want for not really liking this movie, but when I go into a movie that's directed by Alexander Aja and Sam Raimi is one of the producers, I expect something fucking good. And I'll tell you, I'll give it this much. The alligators look fucking cool, okay? They're all CGI'd. And they looked fucking awesome. I did, but you know what? We've already gotten to that because, I mean, Jurassic Park and all these other movies have just incredible looking CGI, okay? But the backgrounds in these fucking movies, I could have done a better job with my fucking green screen and Sony Vegas Pro. Like, even my son, who I went to see the movie with, looked over it and he goes, that looks fake as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, like there's a scene at the end where a helicopter comes in, and I didn't know this, but apparently in this movie, helicopters can fly in Class 5 hurricanes. I didn't think it was possible, but hey, I guess I'm a fucking idiot because they do it in this movie. But there's a helicopter flying in this Class 5 hurricane, getting thrown all over the place, but still can throw down a basket to save these guys. And I mean, I mean, it looked fake as fuck. I mean, it was just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like, I could talk for an hour about how bad this movie was. But you know what? It's got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, so what the fuck do I know? I'm just some dumbass sitting here doing a review, and like, heaven forbid, you know what I mean? But I'm just calling it like it is, man. This is like an hour and a half of like, and 75%, maybe even 80% of the movie takes place in a house, which is fine. You know what I mean? They did the same thing with Annabelle. But, and it had a budget of only $13.5 million, so that's not like a mega budget. So I guess I shouldn't knock the CGI too bad. I mean, they obviously dumped a shit ton on the alligators because they looked fucking killer. But the background scenes, like the storm and stuff, like, my God. Like, I don't know, man. That was terrible. But $13.5 million is not a lot of money, but I don't know, man. It's just, this movie was just like Annabelle, really, only with alligators. Let's put these people in a house for 75-80% of the time, and let's just come up with, how many jump scares we can come up with this fucking doll, this stupid fucking Annabelle doll. That has three movies out now, and it should only had 1 because the other 2 were terrible. Same with this movie. You know what I mean? Let's throw some alligators in, and we'll just come up with, how many alligator jump scares we can come up with, and then we'll attack the people and kill the dumbass fucking red shirt fucking extras. No problem. They get chomped and killed within seconds. But our 2 stars here, you know, actually the dad dies and then she revives him and he's got like, you know, like it was nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like fighting alligators and I don't know. It's whatever. You know, I appreciate the fact that they maybe tried to think up something different. But again, I'm going to end this with saying, you know, it's Alexander Aja and Sam Raimi. So I expected a hell of a lot more out of this movie that looks like it could have just been on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's that fucking bad. It really is. So aside from the alligator CGI, I mean, everything else was just terrible. So anyways, for a rating, I would probably give this, I don't know. I'll give it a 5. I'm not going to flunk it, but I'll give it a 5 out of 10. I mean, if you like jump scares, alligators, you like creature features. That was the other thing too. I'm a huge creature feature fan, and I thought, okay, alligators are cool because they're real, so it's going to be scary as fuck. You know what I mean? But even the jump scares didn't scare me because you knew exactly when they were fucking coming. Really, I mean, it's like wow. So, anyways, 5 out of 10. Yeah, this is definitely a Tuesday movie, and what I mean by that is usually Tuesdays are cheap nights. So if you are going to go see it on a cheap night. And anyways, if you've seen this movie, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't, I guess go watch it and then let me know what you think. But again, I don't know where a 7 out of 10 is on IMDb. Like, what the fuck are these people looking at? If this is the state of horror, you know, on the big screen, then we're fucking in trouble, okay? Because Annabelle was not a good movie, and this movie is definitely not a good fucking movie. So if this is the state of where horror is going, then God help us all. You know what I mean? Stick to the video on demand. I mean, I was going to say lower budgeted movies, but this is only a $13 million budget, so it doesn't, you know, this is pretty low. But yeah, I don't know, man. Just stick to the video on demand horror movies because there seems to be a lot of really good stuff coming out that is not coming to the big screen. And it's like they're just pumping all the shit movies on the big screen. So anyways, I'm going to give it a 5. That's probably doing it a favor because it really doesn't deserve that. But anyways, let me know what you think. Movie's called Crawl. Yeah, sorry for bitching, I guess. Yeah, tell me I'm wrong or prove me wrong, I guess. But I don't think you can with this movie. Anyways, Crawl. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And until next time, stay scared. Unless you watch this movie, then you'll be annoyed.